G'day viewers, welcome to this week's PB's Retro Restorations. This week I'm doing this Corgi MGB GT, which was in the Corgi range for quite a while, went through a few different iterations. This one belongs to a friend of the channel, Ben, who sent it over from England. He said he'd like a change of colour with it. He wants it more of a butterscotch yellow, as you'll see at the end, or had some trials and tribulations with the colour. That's okay, that's my problem. My failures make for your entertainment. So with that dribble over, let's get crack-a-lackin', as they say, and see if we can't turn Ben's dreams into reality. Now, as you saw from the turntable shot at the start of the video, there's absolutely nothing really wrong with this car apart from the worn out paint. The chrome and plastics are a little bit worn out, which is really good. It means I don't have to fix anything. It also means I'm going to be extra careful not to break things that aren't broken, so I don't make a rod for my own back and have that to complain about. So once it's drilled apart, it all comes apart pretty easy, but this rear glass in that back door is going to be another challenge, but we'll get to that. So because there's so many different little parts, I'm putting them all securely in little bags so I don't lose any of them, because we don't need that grief. None of the suspension pieces are broken. This should be pretty straightforward. A lot of times it's just easier to put some blue tack over the jeweled headlights and spray paint over it, but I had access to the back of the headlights, so I jeweled tiny little holes in the back, and then I popped them out with a little hook set, and I put them in a little bag because I don't want to lose them either. So now it's left looking like it's had both its eyes poked out. We're ready to move on to paint stripping. This is my electric jug. I use it to boil water. Poison. So that's done a great job of stripping the paint off. Now I'm just going to carefully put them in a bucket and go rinse them off with some cold water. Make sure you always do all that work in a well ventilated space, viewers. Don't breathe in the fumes, they're not good for you. So even great oracles of the die-cast world such as myself have to turn to the web for help and advice, and this was one of those cases. I couldn't work out how to get this window out, and I went on Facebook and asked the DMC crew, anyone got any tips? And the general consensus was I should put in some warm water, try and soften the plastic bit up and try and pop it out. And I thought, so I did that, I tried it, but it would not budge, and I thought I'm going to break this. So I resorted to getting a little knife and just trying to file the nib down a bit, not right off, so it might still click in afterwards. Alright, Ben and viewers with a weak intestinal fortitude, turn away from your screens now. Yeah, I got the Dremel out, but anyway, then I put it back in the warm water, see if a combination of the two methods would work. And you know what, viewers? Strap yourselves in for this one.
Aha! Yes! I was fully expecting that to crack like right through the middle. Hoorah, yes!
So with that unexpected success, I'm now going to strip the chrome off the parts that need the chrome stripping off of. That makes sense, doesn't it, viewers? Using bleach here. I have since moved on to oven cleaner, thank you, viewers. I have been sitting on this one for a little while. And now is the super high speed vision of me dremeling everything. So I guess that needs super high speed Dremel sound effects. Oh, sorry, that's all you're getting. Okay, now to the paint. Now I wanted to make like a pale butterscotch yellow like Ben had requested, and I know what you're thinking, and I thought about it afterwards. I probably really should have tipped the white in first and then added the yellow to it. That would have been smarter, wouldn't it, viewers? Because it didn't seem to matter how much white I added to the yellow after I'd already done that. It was would not go very light coloured, but I pressed on. And we'll talk some more about that later. So here I'm part reassembling the car, only part reassembling it so I can do all the chrome stripes and other pieces that need to be chrome on it. As you'll see, that yellow is pretty bright. It's not really butterscotch, is it? But again, I was pressing on at this stage. Here's our stripped plastic pieces, ready to have a black base coat and then some Molotow chrome airbrush spray applied over the top. I really love the results, but I say that every time I use it, and you'll know I love it, and I'll stop going on about it now. Ooh, check it, all chrome and shiny again, hooray! Polishing up the windows ever so gently, of course, because they're in really good shape, and then dipping them into the magic floor polish cleaner gauze. And then I'll put them in my specially designed protective takeaway food container. Of course, the rear glass presented its own challenge with sitting it in the tub to dry, so I clipped it onto an alligator clip. I kind of poked it through a hole in my specially made takeaway container and propped it up against a bottle of paint. I have only the finest precision modelling equipment at the house at PB, and I worked it out. I wasn't a super fan of this colour when I initially sprayed it on. It wasn't looking like how I imagined it in my mind. But after a little bit of drying and a couple of coats, it came down a bit close to what I was looking for, and I was pleased with it. Okay, so making my own decals. Now, I can't print white anyway, and the white wouldn't look any good on the yellow body, so I was going to try and change it to black. So I found a good image, but I couldn't get it straight. It wasn't working, so I went another route. I got a photo of an actual badge, then I changed the colours, removed the background, fiddled and jiggled and fanoodled it about until they looked pretty good. And I printed them in several sizes just to make them a bit... We'll see what works, because the original one's quite large. It's a bit out of scale, so hopefully the one I use is a bit more in scale and you like the results. Here I'm painting the black around the rear window where the window clips in, just so you don't see the yellow bodywork through the glass, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, I suppose. So taping it up now so I can apply the black and again the Molotow chrome for all the chrome trim around the side and around the window frames. Yeah, it kind of worked. It was looking okay, and I was still pressing forward. So some Tamiya panel line, because you know, anything that looks good can only be improved with Tamiya panel line, according to my brain. But once again, as we all know, I've done it before and I won't stop. I managed to... This is where it started to go downhill, viewers. As I mentioned, I wasn't super turbo happy with the chrome work I'd done, and then I thought, oh yeah, I'll do some black wash in the vents and around the bonnet, and then the black and the yellow, it was just too much of a contrast and I wasn't real happy with it. So I'm trying to neaten up the chrome again, and I was looking at it and working on it, and I just had an epiphany. Something came over me and I thought, this is looking trash. I wasn't happy with it, so after like 3 coats of yellow and 3 coats of clear and wet sanding and all that gear, I cracked it and I put it in the stripper and I started from scratch. And then I found this nail polish. It was nearly exactly the sort of colour that Ben wanted. But of course, I didn't thin it enough. I didn't thin it properly. It didn't seem to respond to being thinned. And it glugged up my airbrush. It spotted all over the car. So what you're seeing here is the 3rd attempt. I thought, at this stage I was thinking I should have just left it. But anyway, I made what I think's a better match of the paint. This is just Tamiya acrylic again, and I sprayed it again. I just wanted it to be right. And as predicted, well, as I hoped, more realistically, once I got it round the right way, the rear glass, I'd left enough of a nub on it that it did pop back into place, and it's held in there without any glue, so I'm proud of that result. So I made some custom license plates to reflect the owner and the skilled craftsman who nearly destroyed his Corgi car but came back swinging and finished it. And just like that, as if by magic, we're done. So here we are back at the start with our well loved and well cared for, really, MGB GT that gave me the heebie-jeebies at some stages. See what I did there, viewers? And anyway, after all that, and carry on, this is what we started with. And this is what we're left with now. Ta-da! Yeah, it's looking $1 million and it's bright yellow. It's still not quite the butterscotch yellow that Ben was after, but I'm really pleased with the result. It was well worth stripping and doing again. You'll note I did end up using one of the larger MGB decals I made on the back. Just felt it looked a bit better. The other one was teeny tiny. And I'm really pleased with this one. I think it came out great. Ben said he was happy with it, so I'm going to assume he's happy and wasn't just being polite to me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been a bit of a long one. Thanks for sticking it out, viewers. So thanks for sticking through to the end, viewers. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed watching this video and think you'd like to take the risk on some others, why not check out one of these links? Give it a thumbs up, a share, a like, leave a comment. I do read them all and I try and reply to them all as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you all have a safe and wonderful weekend, and I will see you at the next video. Bye!